If you've been dealing with twitching eyelids, restless sleep, sudden cravings, or muscle cramps that seem to come out of nowhere, there's a good chance your body has been trying to tell you something for quite some time. Important: magnesium is involved in over 350 different processes inside the human body, everything from muscle function and nerve signaling to heart rhythm and bone strength. And yet, it's estimated that a large majority of adults today have a magnesium deficiency they don't even know about. Here's what makes this particularly tricky. Surprising, magnesium deficiency rarely shows up clearly on a standard blood test, which means it's frequently overlooked, even by well-meaning doctors. In this video, we're covering 12 strange but very real signs that your body may be asking for more magnesium, followed by exactly why this deficiency happens in the first place, and the most effective ways to correct it naturally. Let's get into the signs. Sign 1: twitching muscles. One of the most common and recognizable signs of low magnesium is an irritating twitch in the upper or lower eyelid. Important: here's the mechanism behind it. When magnesium levels run low, more calcium is able to enter your nerve cells than normal. This makes the nerves overexcited, firing off more impulses than they should, and the result shows up as that involuntary twitching in the facial muscles, often right around the eye. Frequently drinking soda or eating large amounts of refined grains can contribute directly to this pattern, since both tend to deplete magnesium reserves over time. Sign 2: waking up between 2 and 3 in the morning. If you regularly find yourself wide awake in the middle of the night, unable to drift back to sleep easily, this is worth paying attention to. Surprising, this pattern is often linked to elevated levels of cortisol, the body's primary stress hormone, which can disrupt your natural sleep and wake cycles. Magnesium plays a direct role in helping regulate cortisol levels. Increasing your intake may help keep the nervous system calm enough to stay asleep through the night, rather than jolting awake during those early morning hours. Sign 3: irritability when skipping meals. Have you noticed that skipping a meal makes you unusually irritable, nervous, or quick to react to small things? Important: this happens because blood sugar drops when a meal is skipped, and your cells begin struggling to generate enough steady energy. Without adequate magnesium, potassium, and sodium working together, the body has a much harder time adapting smoothly to that temporary dip in fuel. Increasing these three minerals in your daily diet can make occasional meal skipping, whether intentional or simply due to a busy day, feel far less disruptive to your mood and energy. Sign 4: heart flutters or skipped beats. This next sign tends to get people's attention quickly, and understandably so. Warning: magnesium works closely alongside calcium to control the relaxation and contraction of your heart muscle, allowing it to pump blood smoothly and rhythmically. If you notice a pounding sensation in your chest, a skipped beat, or a fluttering feeling, this can very often point toward insufficient magnesium. A form called magnesium glycinate is frequently discussed by practitioners as one of the most well-absorbed and gentle options for supporting heart rhythm. We'll cover the best sources and forms in more detail later in this video. Of course, any new or persistent heart symptoms should always be evaluated by a doctor first, since fluttering or skipped beats can have several different causes. Sign 5: high blood pressure. Magnesium plays an important role in helping your arteries relax and widen, a process called vasodilation, which makes it considerably easier for the heart to pump blood through the body. Important: without enough magnesium, calcium can begin accumulating inside artery walls, causing them to stiffen. This stiffening directly contributes to rising blood pressure and, over time, an increased risk of cardiovascular issues. In some cases, this kind of elevated pressure can also trigger headaches or migraines, another symptom many people don't immediately connect back to their mineral intake. Sign 6: constipation. If constipation has become a regular frustration, the answer might be as simple as more magnesium from leafy green vegetables. Important: magnesium supports the relaxation of the smooth muscles lining your colon, helping them contract in a coordinated rhythm that pushes waste through the intestines, a process called peristalsis. A specific form known as magnesium citrate is often used because it also helps draw water into the intestines, softening stool and making elimination noticeably easier and more comfortable. Sign 7: bone pain or weakness. Here's a fact that surprises most people. Surprising. Approximately 60% of all the magnesium in your body is stored directly inside your bones, where it works alongside vitamin D and calcium to maintain bone strength and density. Magnesium also stimulates the release of parathyroid hormone, which plays a key role in directing calcium into the bones where it belongs. When magnesium levels are insufficient, bones can gradually weaken over time, potentially contributing to conditions like osteoporosis, a loss of bone density, or osteopenia, which often presents as a deep, persistent bone ache. Sign 8. Stiff joints. Magnesium also plays a role in activating vitamin D within the body, and one of vitamin D's important jobs is preventing calcium from building up in places it shouldn't, including the outside of joints. Important: if you're experiencing stiffness in your joints, low magnesium could be a contributing factor. That said, joint stiffness can also stem from a deficiency in vitamin C or copper, both of which are involved in collagen production, so this is a sign worth discussing with your doctor for a fuller picture. Sign 9. Anxiety and overexcited thoughts. Your nervous system relies heavily on adequate potassium and magnesium, particularly from leafy green vegetables, to stay balanced and calm. Important: when these minerals run low, alongside vitamin B1, the nervous system can tip toward a heightened, overactive fight-or-flight response. This often shows up as anxiety, racing or obsessive thoughts, and a general sense of being on edge without an obvious external cause. Many people are surprised to learn that something as fundamental as mineral intake can play such a direct role in emotional regulation. Sign 10. Strong cravings for chocolate. This sign tends to get a laugh of recognition from a lot of viewers. Surprising. When you're under significant emotional stress, your body releases more adrenaline and cortisol, and this process depletes magnesium reserves fairly quickly. Since cocoa is naturally one of the richest food sources of magnesium, intense chocolate cravings during stressful periods may actually be your body's way of seeking out what it's missing. Here's the catch, though. Chocolate also contains compounds called oxalates, which can bind to magnesium and prevent it from being fully absorbed, creating something of an unsatisfying loop where the craving never quite gets resolved. Sign 11. Clawed hands or feet. This is one of the more unusual and uncomfortable signs on this list. Warning: the muscles in the hands can sometimes tense and clench together involuntarily, pulling the fingers into a tight, claw-like position. A magnesium deficiency is frequently behind this kind of spasm, since magnesium is needed to allow calcium to properly relax the muscles afterward. This same tightening can also occur in the feet, and it's particularly common at night, while lying down, often catching people off guard right as they're trying to fall asleep. Sign 12. Muscle cramps. Our final sign on this list is one of the most widely recognized: muscle cramps, particularly in the calves. Important: a lack of magnesium can cause any muscle in the body to spasm or cramp unexpectedly. It's also fairly common for cramping to occur in the neck muscles when magnesium levels run low, not just in the legs. Increasing plant-based sources of electrolytes, potassium, magnesium, and calcium from vegetables, tends to be one of the most effective ways to address this. Making sure your diet includes an appropriate amount of sodium is equally important, since your muscles rely on a proper balance of all these minerals working together. Bonus sign: asthma symptoms. One final sign worth mentioning involves respiratory health. Surprising, some people who experience asthma symptoms find that a daily magnesium glycinate supplement provides noticeable support. Magnesium can help reduce tightness in the airways and assist in opening the bronchioles, making breathing feel easier. Some practitioners also discuss combining this with vitamin D3 and K2, which may work alongside magnesium to further support respiratory function. As always, any changes to asthma management should be made in close coordination with your doctor. The problem with blood tests. Before we move into what causes this deficiency, there's something critical you need to understand about why it so often goes undetected. Warning: only about 1% of the magnesium in your entire body is actually stored in your bloodstream. This means a standard blood test simply cannot give an accurate picture of your true magnesium status, even when levels inside your cells and tissues are genuinely low. This is precisely why magnesium deficiency is so frequently overlooked or dismissed in routine medical visits. It makes recognizing these physical signs and symptoms all the more important, since they often provide far more useful information than the blood work alone. Why are so many people low in magnesium? So why has this become such a widespread issue? There are several overlapping reasons. Important: magnesium is found primarily in the central molecule of chlorophyll, the green pigment that gives plants their color. This means that simply not eating enough leafy green vegetables is one of the most common root causes of deficiency in the first place. Beyond that, eating large amounts of whole grains can be problematic too, since grains contain a compound called phytic acid that binds to magnesium and makes it unavailable for absorption. Sweetened foods containing fructose or corn syrup also deplete magnesium significantly, because the liver requires roughly twice as much magnesium to process these sugars compared to other foods. Soda consumption adds another layer to this problem. The phosphoric acid in soda makes the blood more acidic, which interferes with how effectively magnesium gets activated and used by your cells. There's also a less obvious factor at play: modern farming practices. Many fertilizers used today don't replenish magnesium in the soil, which has gradually left many fruits and vegetables lower in magnesium content than they were decades ago. Warning: chronic stress and elevated cortisol levels deplete magnesium reserves over time. Long-term antacid use can block proper mineral absorption. Diuretic medications may cause magnesium to be lost through urine. And finally, low vitamin D, often from insufficient sun exposure, can prevent the magnesium your body does have from becoming properly activated. As you can see, this is rarely caused by just one single factor. It's usually a combination of diet, lifestyle, and modern environmental changes working together. How to naturally raise your magnesium levels. Now let's talk about practical solutions, what you can actually do starting today. Important: a simple and effective daily habit is building a large salad featuring a variety of leafy green vegetables: lettuce, collard greens, arugula, cucumber, watercress, and cabbage all contribute meaningfully to your daily intake. Other excellent sources include pumpkin seeds, plain yogurt, a pinch of quality sea salt, and wild salmon. Many people also choose to add a daily magnesium glycinate supplement, commonly available in around 200 mg doses, though the right amount for you should be discussed with your doctor. If you practice intermittent fasting for health or weight management purposes, it's worth considering a quality electrolyte powder mixed into water during your fasting window, along with a small pinch of sea salt. This helps maintain proper mineral balance in your cells throughout the fast. Warning: if you notice symptoms like heart palpitations or muscle twitching specifically during fasting periods, this can be a sign to ease back and take a more gradual approach rather than pushing through. Foods and habits to avoid. Just as important as what to add is knowing what tends to drain your magnesium reserves. Warning: refined grains, added sugars, fructose-heavy foods, processed vegetable oils, and ultra-processed snack foods all place extra metabolic burden on your cells, which depletes magnesium more rapidly than your body can replenish it. Replacing these with whole food protein sources, like chicken, salmon, pork, shellfish, and beef, provides a double benefit, since many of these foods also naturally contain meaningful amounts of magnesium themselves. Many practitioners also recommend a daily vitamin D3 supplement, since adequate vitamin D supports your body's ability to properly absorb and activate the magnesium you're consuming. A more targeted option for brain function. For those specifically interested in supporting memory, focus, and mental clarity, there's a more specialized form worth knowing about: magnesium L-threonate. Surprising, this form tends to be more expensive than other options, but research suggests it crosses the blood-brain barrier more effectively than standard forms of magnesium, potentially supporting stronger connections between brain cells. Some people find this particularly useful during periods of learning, studying, or memorization. Forms of magnesium to avoid. Before we wrap up, this final point matters quite a bit if you're considering a supplement. Warning: always check the ingredient label carefully. Forms like magnesium oxide, magnesium sulfate, magnesium carbonate, and magnesium hydroxide are generally considered poorly absorbed by the body and may be more likely to cause digestive side effects. Instead, look specifically for magnesium glycinate, magnesium citrate, or magnesium L-threonate, which are widely regarded as offering significantly better absorption and tolerability. If this video helped you connect some dots about symptoms you've been experiencing, that's exactly what we're here for at Senior Nutrition Secrets. We focus on practical, evidence-based nutrition information for adults over 50 who want to feel more energized, more balanced, and more in control of their health every single day. If you found this valuable, please consider subscribing so you don't miss future videos, and share this with someone in your life who might recognize a few of these signs in themselves. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, we wish you great health, wealth, and happiness. Share project content Senior Nutrition Secrets at Senior Nutrition Secrets created by unknown at PDFs, documents, or other text to reference in this project. Content over 60? Eat these 7 cheap, high-protein foods to build muscle fast. If you're over 60 and think building muscle means spending a fortune on protein powders, fancy steaks, or specialty meals, I have good news for you. What I'm about to share could save you hundreds of dollars each year and still pasted. 12 natural foods to eat every day to remove fat from your liver. This video is educational only, not medical advice. Always check with your doctor before changing your diet.